Good afternoon and happy snow day from rural Cedar Rapids. Welcome to our Call It Both Ways podcast. I'm Jeff Linder. That's Jeff Johnson. And a lot to talk about. Conference races are winding down. Postseason starts tonight for girls basketball. Starts soon for you too with the boys. And I guess let's lead off with this. You made the trip before the big snowfall to West Union, and you got to see a pretty big ball game and a heck of a stat line from a kid from North Fayette Valley.
How's your hands and arms? Are you sore, by the way, with all this shoveling? It was a light snow, wasn't it?
It was a nice fluffy snow, but there was a lot of it, so it kind of cancels each other out. So how about you?
Yeah, just came in from finishing off the driveway for the third time. So tried to stay ahead of it, Jeffrey. Tried to stay ahead of it.
That's smart. So,
but
West
anyway,
Union, what you got? What's your first trip to West Union? Is that right?
Man, if I've been there before, I don't really remember it for anything. Maybe a football game back in the day, but yeah, it's a nice campus. They have a nice athletic facility out there and gym as well. And just went up to Tuesday night to watch North Fayette Valley and MFL Marmac play for the Upper Iowa Conference Championship. And man, North Fayette Valley was really good. Won, I think it was 72-45 as it ended up. So the Tiger Hawks win the Upper Iowa outright. Finished the regular season 21-0, first time in school history, first time in NFV in North Fayette or Valley CEW history. They finished an undefeated regular season. So congratulations. And Kale Richter, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I thought it was Richter at first, but I was told it's not. Well, so I'm going to call him Kale.
You just have to spell it right most of the time.
Yes, Reichter. Met his folks after the game. We're not wonderful people, but 6'8" senior center going to Upper Iowa to play hoops. He had a huge game, 37 points and 24 rebounds, and that's I think he had 26 points in the second half. He's a skilled kid at 6'8". He can dribble it out front because he grew up as a point guard. He can use his size inside, and he can, dribble, drive, get to the lane and create fouls and, shoot short range or medium range shots as well. So just a really wonderful player. And, North Fayette Valley 21-0, man. That's not bad.
You're 2A, right?
Yeah, 2A, and hence the issue, I guess. There's 5 teams that remain undefeated in the state on the boys' side, and North Fayette Valley is the only one that is not in the IHSAA's rankings, and it's the only one that did not get a district number 1 seed. And that's
who got the 1 seed in that region, in that district?
Appleton Parkersburg. And
how many losses did they have? Do you know?
Well, they lost Tuesday night to 3A ranked Waverly Shell Rock team. So they have 2. So, I get it to an extent. Obviously, when you're playing a primarily 1A schedule, probably doesn't, look the best to the rankings committee. But 21-0 is 21-0. And
and if they're good enough, they'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what they said. Talking to the coach and players and people after the game was, we got to beat them anyway. So, Cascade's in that other district in the same sub-state, and that's another team that's ranked that's really, really good. We'll see how it goes, for them. They had, it was really interesting. They had a group of grandmothers posed at midcourt with their grandsons after the game, and one of the grandmothers went on the PA and started, congratulating them on what they did, and wrote or orated a story about how Cooper DeJean was underrated and overlooked, and you guys are too. just keep working hard and go make history, which I thought was an interesting little ceremony post game, but it was nice. So, yeah, we'll see. MFL's got a nice team too, 18-4, and also in 2A, the number 2 seed in the correspondent district. So,
were they? Was their first game at Monona competitive, or did Fayette Valley win big over there too?
Yeah, it's about a dozen points or so, somewhere in that range. Matt Grambeers, the coach at North Fayette Valley, said, I mean, they played a really especially strong second half the other night. He said he thought that was the best defense that he's seen a team play in a couple of years, probably, is what he said. So, again, we'll see. I mean, they've got Kale, and they've got a bunch of really good athletes, 2, 3, 4 of them that played on their state championship soccer team.
Oh, okay.
Last spring. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is everything on the boys' side starts with some pigtail district games tomorrow night, Lindy. So
okay,
in 1A, and we really get kicked off starting Monday. So as you do, you get going.
Girls start tonight with 1A first round games, and then Saturday it's 2A and 2A quarter. I'm sorry, 2A first round and 3A quarters, and then big schools get going next week. But and now it looks like we got to kind of keep an eye on the weather again tomorrow and maybe into Saturday. So happy Valentine's Day with that. And so where are you at? What do the Valley teams have? What, about 3 games left?
Yeah, more or less. All the 1A, 2A, both season pairings came out this week on Monday, and then the 3 and 4A will come out this coming Monday. It'll be interesting to see how all that shakes out. I mean, we had some West Des Moines Valley, who was borderline number 1 team in 4A, got beat the other night by 25 by Johnston. So we'll see how far the 2-time defending champs drop in the rankings and how that affects them as far as sub-state pairings in 4A. 3A, we still got Xavier in there that's ranked, and we'll see how that all shakes out, because there's a lot of, I think, very comparable teams on this side of the state in 3A. And then 4A, like I said, Linmar's up there at 3rd this week, and Kennedy dropped to 6th with a couple of losses last week. Prairie's in there at 10th. So it'll be interesting to see how everything kind of shakes out from that perspective. And we'll see if we can get the games in. We go all year without any snow. All year without any snow, Lindy.
Well, we've been lucky, and if we get hit again tomorrow or Saturday, that's okay. I mean, we've been lucky.
Agreed.
So, got a couple of Valley girls titles on the line tomorrow. It's the last night for MVC girls basketball, and we'll start with the Valley division. Cedar Rapids Xavier. Actually, we're going to start with Mississippi. Cedar Rapids Xavier's 11-2 in Tom Lilly's final season, and like I wrote today, can you believe they've got more state championships under Tom Lilly than they had conference championships before this year?
Is that right?
5-4. Yeah, this will be their 5th. And as far as divisional titles, it's to be determined whether they win it outright or share it. They're 11-2. Iowa City West is 10-3, and they play each other tomorrow night at Ron Thillen Gymnasium. In the Valley, Prairie is 11-2, and City High is 10-3. Several teams have 4 losses. Prairie, after going to Johnston tonight, which will be an interesting, they're biting off a lot there with that. They host Cedar Rapids Jefferson tomorrow. If they win that, they win it outright. If not, then City High can share if they beat Washington, which is not looking like a gimme at all right now, because Washington's playing really, really well. They beat Prairie by 8 on Tuesday. So
wow, that is a big win. I've seen Wash play a couple times actually.
They're playing really well. They were kind of buried there for a while. They were 2-6 right after the break, and now they're 11-9. They've won 9 out of 12, including win over Prairie. They beat Kennedy by 30 the other night. They're playing really well.
Wow.
So they've got a tough region. They would have to host Bettendorf in the semis, and if they get past that, then they're going to have to go to Dowling in the regional final. So it's been 3 years since a Metro Iowa City team made it to state in 5A, and it's been 4 years, I think, since a Metro Iowa City team won in 5A, won a game, and it's been even longer. I think the last Metro team to make it to state was Prairie in 2020, and the last Metro team to win a game out there was 2016, I believe. So a little bit of a drought there, but they drew it up favorably for the area schools. It looks like if everything goes the way it should, it'll be Prairie, Iowa City West in one region to get to state, and then City and Liberty in another. So that'd be a lot of fun. And Liberty's still chasing its first state tournament. So that's all been determined. 4A, looks like it's probably going to be Xavier and Waverly Shell Rock, which is kind of what we thought all along. Clear Creek Amana, the defending champion, they would be in the same region as DeWitt, Central DeWitt, I guess we call it now. So they would play in the regional final if they both get to that point. And Maquoketa, never been to state, and they've got a really good team, all juniors, 19-2, ranked number 3. And they would probably have to get by Marion to make it to state for the first time.
So Maquoketa's never made it on the girls' side.
Never made it. They've got back-to-back divisional titles now in the River Valley North, and the last time they'd won a conference title or divisional or whatever, I think before that was 2004. So it had been 20 years between league titles, and now they've won 2 in a row, and they'll be heavily favored in the River Valley North again next year.
Perhaps my favorite gym in the area, by the way.
Great gym.
Very nice.
Great new gym. I guess I shouldn't say it's new. It's probably 10 years old now, maybe 15, but great gym. It's kind of like Williamsburg's where you walk in and then step down in the steps to get to floor level. That's a great one. And I'll tell you, there's just a bunch of nice relatively new gyms in the WAMAC. A lot of them. So always fun to go to some of those places out of town, and sure. We'll see what the Cardinals can get accomplished here. Okay,
Jeff, I got to tell you, I was talking to Sam Paxton, one of our night editors, last night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stuck in the old way of doing the punctuation for some of these combined schools. I believe it should be MFL/Mar-Mac, but that's not how apparently the school does it. There's no hyphen in between the schools.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, or there's no slash.
Right. No slash, no hyphen. 2 words.
All of a sudden the hyphen went away from Mar-Mac when it was just on the phone, and Mar-Mac, it was there. So I might be going on a Jeff Linder North-Lynn crusade to get that changed.
Good luck. Yeah, I know what you're saying. And I guess we kind of just cater to what the school wants now.
Right.
And
right.
North Lynn never should have had a hyphen. It does not anymore. I think we deserve some credit for that. I think our whining and all that. And I still have that hyphen from the school in my garage.
I remember that. That's hilarious.
And Clear Creek Amana should have a hyphen, but they don't.
Yes, exactly. There's another one, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, maybe there's a couple that I can see what I can do.
Yeah, and we've gone the direction of Central DeWitt as far when we're talking styles.
Yeah, and that one doesn't make any. Is the campus literally in Central DeWitt?
The campus is in DeWitt. we called it DeWitt Central for a long time. Actually, they used to be called Central Clinton Community Schools.
Yes, which is where the Central came from. Yeah.
Right. And they basically rebranded and called themselves Central DeWitt Community Schools now, and that's why we changed.
Okay.
So yeah, we all kind of have our different ways of doing things. We went away from LaPorte City Union. We call them Union Community now. And we went from Valley CEW to Valley Community before they went together. So we all have our little quirks as far as the way we do things.
Yes. Yes. BCLUW. There's another one that all the hyphens just kind of went away from UW.
Just one conglomeration of consonants and vowels.
So. We'll talk maybe here in a second about Iowa women. I just wanted to point out on the boys' side again, the Gazette area only has 2 top seeds in districts, 1 in each class. Cascade, as I already mentioned, in District 6 in 2A, and then Northland got a top seed in 1A in its district. Got set south, would play, like, for instance, I heard Fort Madison Holy Trinity. Formerly Aquinas, right? Isn't that
formerly Aquinas? They went to Holy Trinity when they combined with West Point Marquette.
Okay, West Point Marquette. I remember that school. Anyway, so the entire team apparently bust up to the other night to scout Northland. So that's Northland is down in that. I think Burlington Notre Dame's down in that area too. But those are the only 2 top seeds in the district in the smallest 2 classes for our area, which I thought was unique. I can't remember when there's that few. So
yeah,
we'll see in the 2 big classes. But anyway,
should get more there, shouldn't you? You should have a pretty good number of teams at state, shouldn't you?
It'll be, yeah, I hope so. One thing they're doing different this year, Jeff, is they're following the girls as far as the state tournament.
Big school first.
The state tournament will Monday morning. It'll be 4A. This is the first time they've done it that way. I guess
I wonder why that is.
A trial experiment. Yeah. I don't mind. Heck, why not rotate the classes?
Yeah.
That goes. So we'll start with 4A and then meander on down 3A, 2A, 1A, and 2A and 1A will get the 2 prime Friday night championship times, I guess. So
that'll be good. That'll be good.
For sure.
I think if form holds and all the favorites win, I think there'd be 11 area girls teams at state.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
You'll be busy. That's good.
Yeah. Well, I've got 1 more class than you do too, so that's kind of cheating.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
You've been on the road, my friend.
Pardon?
You've been on the road.
I've been on the road.
Tell us about that.
Well, I stayed at the Relax Inn in Adair, Iowa, Monday night.
Beautiful. That's beautiful.
So really, it wasn't bad though. It was cold. It was cold and beat the snow in. But yeah, Iowa women are suddenly playing really good ball right now. They won 5 in a row after losing 5 in a row. They've climbed into a tie for 9th, I believe, in the Big 10, the Big 18 or whatever you want to call it. They need to rename that league, by the way.
Yes.
But what do they call it? What should they just call it? Coast to Coast America Conference?
How about big? Just big.
Yeah.
Forget about the numbers. Big.
Yeah. Big and getting bigger. Yeah. But anyway, they're playing really good ball. Lucy Olson had a season high 32. Taylor McCabe, kind of in her old stomping grounds there, scored 17. And they won 81-66. And 5 in a row. They got Rutgers tonight. I think that's you can kind of pencil that, if not pin that in as a W. So they're moving away from the bubble and, looking at maybe things keep going well, maybe a 7 or an 8 seed for the NCAA tournament.
Wow. All of a sudden.
Yeah. Yeah. Just changed on a dime. It changed when they were out in the Pacific Northwest. They got beat by a point by Oregon and scored only 49 points, and that was really ugly. And then they go to Washington, play probably their best game of the year to that point. And then they, the momentum starts coming. They beat USC at home, and then they go to Minnesota and and Nebraska and win a couple of games that I think everybody thought were coin flips going in. And now, just about anything seems possible.
Tell us, do you like Nebraska's arena, by the way?
Love it. Love it. Yeah. I really enjoy going on the road. When you've seen something 25 times a year, it's, kind of the same routine, but I enjoy going to Minnesota. Sit way up high, but that's a neat atmosphere, and Nebraska's great. And their new arena is really nice, and they take good care of you out there.
Old Williams Arena. You didn't see any bats flying around way up.
Didn't see any bats or birds.
That's good.
Yeah, just a good atmosphere. I like going up there. I went to Illinois earlier this year. That was new, different. Went out to that Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. That was kind of a fun experience. And, and I always like going to Drake.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. How about the Drake men, Lindy? How about the Drake men? Man.
Well, I'll tell you, and, I'm biased, of course, but, is there really a better story in America right now? I mean, they lose their coach, they lose their franchise player, and they lose everybody. They had one kid stick around after the coaching change. And, Ben McCollum comes in and brings basically a Division II team to Drake, and they're 23-2.
And do you think they'll get in if they don't win the Bow Valley?
Probably not.
It's
probably still a one bid league, but they're having a heck of a year. And I thought that if they would go 500 this year, that'd be a heck of a season. And they beat Miami, they beat Vanderbilt in the non-conference. I think they had another Power Four win other than those. Of course, they beat K-State. Yeah. Yep. That's looking like a better win all the time. But the teams in Iowa City and Ames won't play them, and that's not going to change.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. So, what else you got on your agenda here? Excuse me.
I'll tell you and I've got to do some more looking on this, but a bill has been introduced to basically, when it comes to high school conferences, that a committee should be formed, I think, including 9 superintendents, 9 ADs or something like that, as far as basically maybe overhauling the conferences, or maybe, approving or denying teams or conferences that want to make some changes. And like I said, I'm just in the very, very early parts of looking at this, but I don't know. I don't know if that's something that the Iowa Senate or Iowa House needs to be involved in, but I don't know. It's such a volatile time as far as these conferences are concerned. They're going to have some changes out in Central Iowa again, I think. And, there's changes are ongoing, and I don't know. I wish that maybe everybody could put together a plan and everybody stick with it for 8 or 10 years.
The changes in Central Iowa, I believe you're referring to. Urbandale wants out of the CIML, correct?
Yeah. Ames wants out of the Alliance.
Yep.
If you put those two teams in with like an Indianola, DCG, Norwalk, maybe kind of a, some kind of alliance with those. I don't know. Maybe you consider putting Fort Dodge and Mason City and Marshalltown in that. I don't know. And then maybe kind of reconfigure the Raccoon River and the Little Hawkeye conferences into a kind of a super conference there, and maybe shifting that into divisions based on geography or enrollment or something like that. But we're always hearing things around here. What does Decorah do? What does Waverly do? Does the WAMAC take them? I've heard Oskaloosa wants into the WAMAC, maybe Pella
Really?
Christian.
Wow.
That Oskaloosa to Decorah trip would be
Woo.
need a plane for that. But I don't know. There are people a lot smarter than me that have a lot of decisions to make here.
You look at the Valley too.
Yeah,
I think sooner than later we're going to have one Waterloo High School.
Right, but that won't change because I'm sure that school will be in the Valley.
Yeah,
Clear Creek will move over, and that'll make it 16, and and then they're set again. So
yeah, but then the Alliance loses one more. I guess they can afford it. There's still a number of schools there that are in that league. So
right,
yeah,
Alburnette's going to make its move to the River Valley next year. There's probably stuff out there that I don't even know about.
It's been very volatile, as you mentioned, here in the last 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
But, so be it. We have a lot of schools that are losing enrollment.
Yeah. And I've heard from several people that we're within 5 years of another mass consolidation trend here coming up.
Yeah. Somebody floated me a list of the number of schools that I think there was 150 that will have to that are facing like some sort of like teacher reduction or things of that nature to kind of hit their budget. And I mean, there's a lot of schools. I'll share it with you when we get off the air here. Yeah. But that just goes to your point. So
yeah, and when we were in school, I was thinking back to 1984. We had a really good basketball team, and I believe there were about 320 boys basketball teams in Class 1A that year.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. In one class, and because it was just 3 classes then, 3A, 2A, 1A, and I think 1A had about 300 to 320 schools in that class.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
And they were telling me, and I didn't realize this. Somebody up in North Fayette was telling me last time North Fayette made it was in the biggest class, or maybe it was Oline. It was one of those.
It was Oline. Oline was a 3A school then.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy to think about?
Yeah. I think 1985. I think Carroll Kemper was the champion in 3A.
Brian David played the University of Arizona. Yep.
Yeah, and now they're in girls they're a 2A, 3A school now.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. Yeah, mm-hmm. every town had a high school. It seemed like. Yeah. Back in those days. And I kind of miss those,
Yeah, I was kind of reminiscing with a couple people, and we were talking about the old WAPSI conference and some of that. And I think of the 11 schools that were in that now, the only school that is as it is now as it was then is Lisbon.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Lost Nation, Olin.
Lost Nation, yeah. Lost Nation, Oxford Junction both went to Midland.
Okay.
Bennett is a K through 6 or K through 8 now. Olin's the same. Delwood, I think, is a K through 6 or K through 8. So a lot of the schools are a lot different now.
Lincoln and Clarence Loudon, of course, we're on separate. Big rivals, huge rivals.
Big rivals. And I believe the enrollment to both those schools when they consolidated in 95, I think the enrollment of both of those schools is bigger than North Cedar's enrollment is now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Sad.
Yeah.
Sad, but that's the way it works. That's the way it goes, I guess. So.
Yeah. So, hockey, you got anything going on?
Yeah, Rough Riders coach Mark Carlson is going to break the all-time USHL record for regular season games coached. He's going to tie it tomorrow night. Break it on Saturday night. I can't not remember the exact number. It's 1,400 something.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, that's a lot of bus rides.
Oh, man.
But they're going to have a nice ceremony.
That's different than staying at the Adair Relax Inn.
Yeah, exactly, right? But they're going to have a nice pregame ceremony for him Saturday. Both games are home here, so that's good. The USHL commissioner is going to be in town. The Rough Riders owner, they're going to do something. Special for Mark, who obviously deserves it, and he is 11 wins from tying the all-time USHL regular season wins record and 12 from breaking it. So if they, he could break that. There's I think they have 23 or 24 games left in regular season. So he could break that. Team's playing pretty good hockey right now. So
good.
Kudos to Mark, and Heartlanders actually played last night. I wanted to go down and watch. They played Cincinnati at home, and my wife said, "You're not driving on the road." So what do you say? Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
You know how it works. So but they're playing pretty well, and they're in possession, pretty solid position for a playoff spot in the ECHL. They're Central Division. So yeah, right. Some things going on, I guess, hockey wise. Then pitchers and catchers are reporting, and before you know it, I guess it'll be the Colonel season. So
yeah, that's right.
Friday, let's see. Tomorrow night I'll be back on the road real quick. Limar at WX Senior, a top. Both teams are top 5. Limar's 3, the Seniors 5. So that should be an interesting, interesting trip to historic Nora Gymnasium in Dubuque.
Absolutely.
Love that place. That place.
Yep. Tomorrow I will be, tonight I'm at Carver and 1A regional start. Tomorrow I'm at Xavier for West and Xavier, weather permitting. Saturday, 2A, 3A girls regional start. I think I'm going to wait and hop on that train next week. And we can talk about that more later.
And it was free popcorn night Tuesday night at West.
Oh boy,
it was a promotion, and these.
I bet it's because you were coming.
It was beautiful, man. It was beautiful. But I gave him $5 just for the school anyway. So there you go. All right,
good deal. So, all right, well, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week. Make sure to call it both ways, and we will have a lot of postseason basketball to talk about come next week. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.